Hi, it's Bernard Nomberg with the Nomberg Law Firm here for another Tuesday talk on Nomberg Law Live, and I'm with my friend Todd Denaburg, and we're downtown at Levy's Fine Jewelry. And Todd, I appreciate you spending a few minutes talking with me today.
Oh, absolutely, my pleasure.
You know, some weeks we talk about the law, other weeks we talk about some of the interesting and cool people around the city of Birmingham, and I count Todd in that department. And we're here at one of the really more unique businesses, not just in Birmingham, but in the state of Alabama, and I'll let Todd talk about that in a few minutes. Todd, let's talk a little bit about the history of Levy's. I know that you're a part of that multi-generation family, so tell the folks a little bit about the company.
I'm the third generation. My grandfather, when he got back from World War I as a young doughboy, came back to Birmingham and decided that he wanted to open up a watch and luggage shop. And he got married right when he got back to my grandmother, whose maiden name was Levy. Her name was Ethel Levy. So after they got married, he wanted to open up a shop. He went to his mother-in-law to borrow the money to open the place. So the nicety way of saying it is that in honor of him borrowing the money from his mother-in-law, he called the place Levy's instead of Denaburg's.
And what year was that?
That was in 1922.
Very good.
Now, rightfully so, Levy's rolls off the tongue a lot better than Denaburg's does.
Sure.
So he ran the watch and luggage shop till about 1929, and when the wall came down, he got a pawn license when the Depression hit, because a lot of the people out there were in need of something of the sort. So he got a pawn license and started loaning money to people on their goods to tide them by until they got their next check or anything like that. And would really loan money on anything of value to try to help people out, including wooden limbs.
Oh my.
We used to have a wooden leg upstairs that was from a pawn. But he ran the store through the 1970s, and he got ill and passed away in the early 1970s. It was left to my grandmother, who then left it to my father and my aunt, Rhoda Lee. And they are the owners today, and my cousin and myself, my cousin Jared Nadler and myself, have been owning the place for the last 30 years.
And how long have y'all been in the current location where we are on 2nd?
We've never moved. This was the original location. It used to be half as wide as it is now, and the other half used to be a used appliance dealership for years and years and years. And in 1998, they closed up and they approached us to see if we wanted to purchase the building. And we hadn't really thought about it, but we couldn't let anybody else buy it.
Sure.
So we bought that half of the building.
So much history here.
Exactly. And I didn't know who I'd get for a neighbor if I didn't buy it.
That's right.
So we bought it and used it for storage for a while, and then in 2000 we renovated this place and expanded into it and doubled our size, and the rest is really kind of history.
Well, speaking of history, it sounds like you're fast approaching to the 100 years of the business.
We are getting there. We're celebrating 95 years this last year, and we are already starting to plan for our 100th year anniversary party.
Good.
Try to figure out something to do that's special enough to commemorate the event.
Well, if you've lived in Birmingham for any period of time, you certainly have heard Todd's aunt on TV or the radio, the different ads. Rhoda has been a fixture here for all this time, I assume.
Yes, she has. She actually moved back to Birmingham. She had married and moved to Chicago and moved back to Birmingham in 1982 and started working back here. I think that we started doing the Rhoda commercials about in the early 1990s, and just kind of tongue-in-cheek wanted to try to see what would happen with them, and lo and behold, they've become a mainstay. Every year, starting about August or September, I get questions, when's Rhoda's commercials coming on? When are we going to hear her? And I say, well, I listen to her every day. I'm not looking forward to them.
Well, her signature advertisements and her voice have certainly become a staple in Birmingham. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're tongue-in-cheek, and we can kind of make fun of things without really being, too far out there.
Certainly. Well, Levy's has been a wonderful Downtown Edition for all these decades. You've been a great partner with the different businesses and the city over the years. I know you've had some involvement with the Birmingham Barons and different civic organizations. But for folks who are not familiar with Levy's, never been in here, may not have ever heard of you, and I can imagine that must be people who are new to Birmingham. Tell the folks a little bit about what would they see when they come in? What do you have to offer here?
Well, it's more a case of what won't they see. We're a full-service jewelry store that specializes in antique and estate jewelry. Anything from 1920s Art Deco, early 19th century Georgian pieces, modern pieces, custom-made pieces. We try to handle the unique and interesting pieces that you're not going to see in every other store, every other cookie-cutter store. We are known for that within the state, so I literally have people coming in all day long from all parts of Alabama to show us their antique and estate jewelry as well as to buy it, because they know that we buy that and we're versed in it, so we can give a fair price versus throwing it on a gold scale. We have a full shop with 3 full-time jewelers, so we do a lot of custom work, a lot of repairs in-house. We carry Highline vintage watches, Patek Philippe, Omega, Rolex, really just about anything in jewelry we will do, have done, or can do. And like I said, we love the unique and interesting pieces, and quite often a large amount of my day is educating people on what they have, because they don't know what they have.
Things that may have been passed down generations and that just sit in drawers or boxes or safes.
Exactly.
Todd, for folks who can't quite get downtown to the store, I know you have some excellent online presence. Tell the folks how they can get in touch or find you guys.
Well, we're obviously on Facebook, Twitter, all the modern conveyance methods. We have a website. It is currently in the stages of being rebuilt, so it is static right now. Unfortunately, we're not able to have our current inventory up on it, or updated inventory. It's a big project that we're working on that hopefully will get completed pretty soon. But other than that, there's never a problem with looking for something to call us, and we can send you pictures. We can text pictures or email pictures. If we don't have it, we can find it. And there have been very few things that I haven't been able to find over the years that somebody was looking for.
Well, we're fast approaching with Valentine's Day, one of the, I assume, maybe the biggest, if not the second biggest day of the year for purchasing of jewelry, etc. If folks want to call here, make an appointment, see some particular pieces sent to them or by way of email or what have you, what's the best phone number?
The best phone number is area code 205-251-3381. That has actually been our phone number since they used to have 5-digit phone numbers here in Birmingham. That's always the way to be able to get in touch with us. Just ask for a salesperson. They'll be glad to accommodate you in any way that we possibly can. Also, our email address is levysfj for fine jewelry at AOL.com. We're constantly checking that if you have any questions or anything of the sort.
And we'll put all of the Levy's contact information down in the comments section. If you have questions you want to leave as you're watching this, you certainly can leave them also in the comments section, and we'll make sure that Todd sees those promptly. The room that we're currently sitting in has as much history as any room in the building, and you had told me this was your grandfather's office, now your father's office.
Correct.
And what you can't see off screen, guys, is there's just literally hundreds of old photos involving various members of Levy's and their participation in city life. Sitting right here between us, I see a couple of old wrestler photos. As a kid, did you go downtown to Boutwell to any of that?
Yes, of course. Well, I loved doing it. My grandfather was a promoter for wrestling down there for years and years and years. And when I was young, starting about 6 or 7, I would go down there to Boutwell Auditorium, and they were always nice to me. They let me sit by the ring. I used to ring the bells in between the matches. I used to be able to go up on the stage, which was kind of backstage back then, and meet the wrestlers. So I met Tojo Yamamoto. I met Andre the Giant. I met the McGuire twins, who were the heaviest twins ever. It was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of history down there. And you know, this was back before cable TV and the internet. Half of Birmingham would be down there looking at or watching the wrestling matches.
We may not have nearly as much wrestling anymore, but Levy's has stayed in the community and civic-minded ideas. You've had a partnership with the Birmingham Barons over the last few years. In the store, there's some vintage old jerseys of Barons or former players, I've noticed. Tell the folks, so we're getting close to the end of our interview here, but tell the folks a little bit about the participation that you've had in the past with the annual game at Rickwood Field.
Oh, well, you know, we have a national treasure right down the street from us in the oldest usable baseball field in the country, as well as one of the oldest minor league teams in the country. And they are so tied to Birmingham, and so are we. How could we possibly not support that? When we got the opportunity, I think it was 4 years ago, and it was before the guy finished his pitch on the telephone. I was convinced that we were going to do it, no matter what it cost. And actually, I thought the cost was going to be more to do it. But I mean, it's such a special place and such a special event. And you know, the Barons are so popular around here. It's a great, you know, we love doing it. We love supporting the field, and you know, like I said, we were glad to do it and glad to keep doing it. Our heart was broken last year that we weren't able to do it at Rickwood Field. Now, of course, we have one of the best baseball stadiums in the country right over on Southside in Regents Field, but we were kind of heartbroken that we weren't able to do it at Rickwood last year.
Well, I'm hoping that they're making those repairs and we can get back over there. I've gone to that game several years, and that really is a treat. Folks who may not be aware, Rickwood Field is really one of the hidden treasures in central part of Alabama. Todd, I sure appreciate you spending some time with us this morning, telling us a little bit more about Levy's. I know you're always here, folks.
Yes, pretty much. I am always here.
On the eve of Valentine's Day, this is the guy to come see, and this is the place to be. Again, Todd, thank you for your time with us today. This will conclude our Nomberg Law Live for this week. Next week, I'll be back with my buddy Morris Lilienthal out of Huntsville. Morris has always got some great stuff to share about the law. As always, you can reach us at 205-930-6900. NombergLaw.com is our website. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, etc. And we hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Take care.